playing Forza 5. You know what? I actually started playing Forza 4 last week because I was just like super duper hyped, and I'm never really this hyped for driving games. I just don't play them. And not since I was a kid with like Midnight Club 2 or whatever. Ooh. I remember getting, which that was dope. And it was arcadey. That was my speed. But I remember buying on the original Xbox, I bought the first Forza. And it was not my jam at all because it was way more racing sim or driving sim where it's detailed. You have to, obey the speed limits and check your tire pressure and pay your, your taxes and stuff. And it's like, it wasn't for me. It was too detailed. But this is not that at all.
That was a brilliant line I heard from one reviewer's thing on this is Forza and the Forza Horizon series are so different, they should get a paternity test.
Yeah. Which I wonder if, because we'll talk about how great Forza 5 is doing right out of the gate, where I wonder if that hurts the mainline series because now you have all these fans that love Horizon, how arcade is, the open world aspect to it, and then you show them Forza Motorsport, which is their reboot that's coming out, we've just seen like a CG trailer so far. Or I think it was in-game. It was at the Game Awards. When that actually drops, it's like it's going to be very different from this experience. So how does that maybe hurt that original one?
I guess I'd be curious because sometimes that, is your audience educated enough to know what that means? Because I feel like we've gotten a similar concept with like Far Cry, and then the standalone DLC that comes out after every Far Cry now.
Sure.
Where that's the fun one.
Sure, but that one it's still at least the same gunplay and mechanics. It's just the story is, balls out of control and wonky. But this one it's very much like you have to be precise with how you're driving for the mainline Forza. Or maybe the mainline Forza has a bit more of a middle ground where they let those arcadey options live there still. And that's how they kind of play off each other. But anyways, playing Forza 4 and got into Forza 5. So it's on Game Pass, right? So it premiered yesterday for free, but I couldn't wait. And they gave you an option with Game Pass where you could pay, I think it was like $35 to unlock the premium edition. And that lets you play as far as on Friday. So I did that because I'm an idiot and can't get enough. And so I switched from Forza 4 directly to Forza 5 and been playing it, loving it. I imagine I texted you too. I imagine they're going to do the same thing with Infinite too, because I'm an equal nerd for Infinite. I can't wait. So if they give me the option to pay, $30, $40 to start playing it immediately, I'm going to do that. So I think they've unlocked a great path to just, make some more money off this because everyone talks about Game Pass, how they can make money. It's free, blah, 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 or it's $15 a month, $10 a month. But this gives a way for early adopters if they want to jump in. And they had crazy sales or crazy concurrent players over the weekend before the game came out. So a lot of people did that. But I'm loving it.
Damn.
Do you have any interest in the Horizon?
Yeah, I'll play it.
Yeah.
I think right now I had to clear up some hard drive space.
You always talking about your hard drive. Do you have one hard drive that you that's a mechanical one that you're just like winding? Like,
I mean, I could throw it on my 8 terabyte physical hard drive.
Do something,
but I need the speed. But I guess the question I have for you though is, do you feel like now we're reaching such a level of fidelity? And I definitely noticed this with Guardians of the Galaxy where it looks really good in footage, but then you play it and it looks better. Is that true this one where the videos are no longer doing this justice?
Yeah, 100%, because we're watching all videos off of YouTube, which has their compression thing going on. And maybe you have a good connection speed or a 4K TV at home where you can see this replicated somewhat, but it's not the same when you see it in person. There are 2 modes. You can do the 30 frame per second quality mode, which drops the frame rate, but then the textures, everything is upgraded. Or there's a 60 frame per second mode. I think it's like the sport or performance mode, which lets you do 60 frames, slightly downgraded graphics, but it looks great. I'm playing on that. Especially with a racing game, I want it to feel really fluid, and I think that's where it shines. Apparently, I'm playing on Xbox Series S. On Series X, there's the performance mode keeps that same like 4K quality, but I don't notice a difference. It looks fucking awesome. And I played on PC as well on my 3070, and it can handle, this is nerd jargon, but it can handle 1440p, 60 frames or like 80 frames. It can do that. I haven't tried it in 4K. I imagine on a 3080, 3090, it'd look even better. But yeah, it looks great. It plays really amazing. The fun aspect of it, because I haven't been a fan of driving games for a long time. What refreshes or keeps the gameplay refreshing rather is you have the open world so you can drive anywhere. And then there's also a lot, like we're watching now, these different game modes that you can jump into and different actual cars you can jump into. They're like that are tailored for whatever like small game you can jump into play. So all this stuff that keeps the gameplay fun and new. So you're not just driving like one car or just racing. You can switch out with whatever you want to do. There's competitive modes too, so you can play against people. You don't have to always play against the actual AI. So there's tons of stuff to like just keep you going and keep you invested. And it's cool to just find cars and unlock them and tune them. That's one thing I just started doing with Forza 5 is that you can modify all the cars basically and fine tune a bunch of stuff, add body kits, change the paint, or even download other people's decals or paint that they've already created. There's just tons of stuff you can do, and it's really, really fun.
Heck yeah.
You walked in, you saw that racing wheel I had, and I was super crunk to buy that, and I finally got it, and it's a lot of work, man. Like, I'm used to playing on controller, and I'm pretty good at it. But with the racing wheel, I have this Logitech. It's like a G920, whatever the fuck. Anyways, it's really cool. It has a lot of good reviews online. And I think it's for that higher tier of, racing fans where it's really responsive, where it's not just vibration enabled. It will actually turn the wheel around like against you.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're like in reverse and you need to like switch back to make your car straight again, it will feel like an actual wheel where it has that tension and like move the wheel against you, which is cool. But oftentimes I'm just like going in circles, when you see car foot or like old timey videos of people that are acting in a movie and pretending to drive, and they're just like constantly moving their wheel around, just going straight. That's how I'm doing like the entire drive. I'm just like, and I'm just trying to go straight. So the amount of time required to master that, I don't want to put into it. I just want to have fun. So I'm going to go back to the controller. Maybe I'll play around with keeping, trying to, calibrate because there's a bunch of options for the racing wheel in the settings.
Sure.
So at least there's that. And maybe I can find that sweet balance where it feels how I want to feel, but I don't know. With the wheel or with the controller rather on its own, I'm having a blast. And I got the dope Forza Horizon controller, which is still, you can buy it. Like I thought that maybe they were going to get sold out. They did not, but it's maybe my favorite special edition controller I've bought ever, at least in recent memory. And Xbox keeps killing it with these dope controllers. Like everything they put out is really cool. PS5 had a cool DualSense DualSense they put out a couple months ago. They had like a midnight. They're space themed. So there's one that was black, one that was kind of a pinkish purple. Those are cool. But like Xbox is just pumping them out where they're really unique looking.
Well, and I felt bad with this because like a couple of days later they announced like the Halo one.
Yeah.
And that was cool. But who wouldn't rather have this?
Yeah.
This is so much cooler.
I'll save Cortana or whatever with this control. And it's like I try to make my own, version of the Halo one that was see-through, and I was proud of that one. That one looked cool. And then I even have that DualSense purple see-through controller. But this one, it makes the other ones look like a turd with eyes. It's beautiful. It's nuts.
I think, yeah, it kind of makes them almost look like a Mad Catz controller, even though
Yeah.
that's not what they are. But yeah, also the grippies and the things. Yeah, that's a sexy controller.
I'm very happy with that. But yeah, all around, I love this game. I don't really have anything negative to say. I would adjust if I like had any recommendations. It would just be the speed in which you jump into the menu to fast travel takes a little bit longer than I'd like. Also, fast traveling, I just realized, and I had to look it up to figure this out, but you can crash into various like billboards and unlock stuff along the way. Yeah. And one of them drops the amounts of credit that it costs to fast travel, because it costs money or credit to fast travel anywhere. So the more of the billboards that you crash into, they drop the price required to then fast travel around the world. I didn't know that. I had to look that up. So there's that, but otherwise, I mean, it's awesome. It's made me a racing fan, at least of this series,
right,
of arcadey stuff. I know that Gran Turismo has their next edition coming to PS5 soon. Unless it's like this, which it's not, I'm not interested. I want something that's a bit more freeform and letting me have fun and drive around.
There was one criticism I did hear about this from a reviewer, and they said, you better like Mexican music, otherwise this is going to be kind of rough. Is that kind of similar?
No, I mean, there's a lot of different, so it's still centered around these festivals, and they're all like still EDM, like electronic festivals. So there's a lot of EDM music there. I haven't noticed a bunch of like, localized like Mexican music. It takes place in Mexico. I've heard some songs from TikTok. So if you're a TikTok fan, that's a plus. But often, and this is what I like about this series too, especially in my mindset right now, where I'll put on a podcast and listen to that or whatever music you want on your own.
Sure.
So you can do that because you don't have to listen to the music that's going on. It's still a positive, the soundtrack that they have already. But I just like putting on a podcast and playing the game.
Interesting.
So
no, looks cool.
It's great, man. It's great. And just in general, Xbox lately is killing it with these exclusives. Especially this holiday, they have Forza. There's Age of Empires, which I'm not a big fan, but I know people love that series. That came out. You have Infinite coming out soon. They basically own the holiday.